All right, everyone. It is time to do a Facebook Live, YouTube Live. You can watch on either source. You can through my website, through my app, etc. So we've got a tornado warning issued, not in the metro Oklahoma City and not in Tulsa, but kind of in between both places, for a storm that actually developed on the east side of Oklahoma City and has been slowly working its way east, and it's just south of Bristow. So I've got Oklahoma Storm Chasers. They're just a mile away from where this particular circulation feature is, and so we're going to go ahead and track this one. And this is a tornado warning that is in effect now, heading up toward the town of Okmulgee. So let's go ahead and get to the maps here. So this is the radar down here in southern Oklahoma, which shows a lot of storms continue. I would say a lot. I say a few. Well south of the metro. This would be a couple over here west of Pauls Valley, Lindsay, Purdy, and a group of showers and storms here, a lot weaker. Here in southeastern Oklahoma. This one here around Tishomingo had a tornado warning on it also earlier, but I've been watching it behind the scenes and it never produced one. It had a couple of weak funnels and a couple of wall clouds, and that was it, and it's already dying out. So right now, this one is the only one in the state that has a tornado, and the only one that actually probably can produce one, because right now it's riding along a cold front boundary that's intersecting the back end of the storm, and so it's giving it a little bit better low-level shear that it needs to produce a tornado. So that is kind of where things are right now. So if you live in the town of Welty, you want to go ahead and be in your shelters. It's coming up right along Highway 48. It's about 3 miles west of there. And it's got a really good structure with it, really good wall cloud, good mesocyclone. So my guys are out there watching it right now. They're trying to get a stream up. Problem is the data out there is very poor. Matter of fact, here's a picture of what it looked like here just a second ago. So this was just sent in. This is taken from Sammy and Brandon from Oklahoma Storm Chasers. So they're out there watching this right now. So looks like a big flying saucer here. So good structure with it. And then here's the rotating wall cloud in this area. And so the tornado, should one occur, will drop down basically right in that area. So that's what we're going to be watching for here over the next few minutes as we stick with this particular tornado warning. This is well east of Oklahoma City. Let me take a look here at the warning information from the National Weather Service. Tornado warning for southeastern Creek County and northwestern Okfuskee County. A tornado was confirmed at one point 5 miles west of Welty, moving east at 25. So again, nothing right now, but it was prior. Just a very quick one. Let's see. People in the path of this can be Welty, Okfuskee, and Mason. So those are the only major towns affected. And let's see, we already said moving east at 25 is going to have some golf ball size hail with it also. So that is the latest with this particular storm. Here's a broad view of that. Shows you it's going to be south of Tulsa, so no effect or no threat to Tulsa itself. We have a one little storm here, Sapulpa, coming in, but it's not much to write home about. So until they can get a decent internet connection, my guys will keep sending me pictures. So we'll just take a look. This is about their... Let's see where their location is. Let me close that. Here we go. Okay. So you can see how close they are to the particular storm. And so they're watching very closely in this turbulent area underneath the mesocyclone for another tornado to develop. Again, there's nothing at this very second. But like I said, it's right along this boundary, which is, let me see here, right here. This cold front that moved through Oklahoma City a little while ago is still stretching about like so. Okay. Well, the storm that we're watching, guess what, is anchored right here on this cold front. So that's why it has a chance to produce a tornado where these other ones don't. It just has better wind shear. Now down here we have a southeast wind, and that is why that one storm down here tried to produce a tornado. But when you get a southwest wind out ahead of where you're focusing, you really can't get a tornado in that environment unless something else is happening. So we've got this front, and that's what's happening there. So this is only going to be for a short amount of time, and then we'll see what happens after that. Okay, so you kind of caught up on what that is, and this is their position. So they're right along Highway 48. So they're actually looking, just due west at it, which is a great position to be in. The storms themselves, we've had a cluster of storms here that developed, broke the cap first in northeast Oklahoma as expected, and has moved off into southwestern Missouri, lots of wind and hail. And as expected, we also had these storms in southern Oklahoma. And then, remember the model data we talked about last night and this morning? It tried to produce some storms here in central Oklahoma along the metro. If the cap broke, and it did, it finally broke one, and that was it. And then it raced off to the east, and that's the one right now that we're tracking for the tornado. We do have some other additional storms out here in the Panhandle, and those will be drifting off to the southeast during the evening. Probably should weaken somewhat as we go through time and lose the daylight hours. Plenty of lightning associated with these storms as well. A lot of positive strikes here in the white for this one near Okmulgee. So that's a good intensification. Also these guys down here in southern Oklahoma and of course northeast Oklahoma. So that is the quick synopsis of what's happening. And then what we'll do is we'll just kind of look at the radar trends here. And my guys will keep sending me pictures. And as of right now, the radar does not indicate enough of a low-level circulation for a tornado. Now, if I were to go aloft, let's see here. Earlier, it had some pretty decent rotation, but even now, aloft, it's not that great. So this was a very quick deal, and it's not surprising there's not a whole lot of support aloft because we're looking at a boundary interaction, which is a low-level feature. And that's what can cause a little what we call vorticity. And it kind of looks, so if you have, it's going to be hard to describe this. Say a linear band of vorticity. Let's say it's this line that just circulates like this. Okay, just spins. All right, that's just anchored along the ground. Then this storm right here comes along, an updraft comes along, and it starts to pull this upwards into the air, straight up. So ignore the radar behind me. Just take this vorticity along the ground, and it starts to pull it up into the storm, into the updraft. So that means everything starts to rotate like this. So that's how you end up getting a tornado pretty quick out of it. That's the very easy Meteorology 101 explanation. So, okay. Like I said, the low-level circulation on radar is not all that great right now. Let's see, we're looking at 3,500 feet, so we're not even getting a good mid-level circulation either, because that's kind of the lower end of the mesocyclone. So we may not get another tornado out of it. It may have just been briefly there right as I was coming online, and then that's all she wrote. But we'll see. We'll hang with this just for a little bit. The cold front also, if it gets enough of a push, will have a tendency to undercut the storm and race out ahead of it. So let's say the cold front is about like this. Okay. Well, the cold front continues to press to the southeast, all right, and the storm keeps moving east as well. But if the cold front decides to move a little faster, and all of a sudden is something like this here in a few minutes, and it moves faster than the storm, well then what we call it undercuts the storm, and then that kills the potential for a tornado. But I think right now they're kind of moving at a very similar speed. The storm actually making its way a little faster, and if the storm outruns it, same principle. You get the front hangs back here, and all of a sudden then the storm is now over here. Well, it's off the boundary. So if it's off the boundary, it can't produce a tornado. So that's kind of where we are. And my guess is it's already getting off the boundary. So because that front's not moving all that fast. There's just a quick intersection there, and then that's pretty much it. Let me see if I got any other pictures for you from these guys. Anything? So he sent those. So this was the last one that he sent. So again, it's a good structure to the storm, but no tornado, but definitely a wall cloud and a good mesocyclone structure to it. Okay, so again, that's Sammy and Brandon from Oklahoma Storm Chasers that are out there. Now I do have Shane. He's out there as well. Let's see, I think I lost his feed earlier. Let me see if I can get it back up here. No, that is not what I wanted to do. That's not going to take me anywhere. What was I thinking? All right, well, I'll have to go find that feed again. Let's see, maybe I had it in here. Yeah, try this. See, so they're still up. Yeah, they're still up, but it's getting dark. And they are, where are they headed? They were headed south last I saw them. Yeah, they're down here at Ada. So they were trying to intercept these storms here in southern Oklahoma. Because I remember that at one point there was a tornado warning on this one way down here, but no tornado warning for it. So I'm going to butcher this name again, Wapanucka. I know you guys helped correct me last time, but I've slept since then and I didn't write it down. So that's the way the town sounds to me. So my apologies for the mispronunciation. So we got a few more towns in here that can get some hail out of this and some heavy rain. Hail sizes were the biggest earlier this evening, early or later afternoon, the 6 o'clock hour, down here in near the Ardmore area. Just some big old hail. I believe the biggest I saw was maybe 3 inches in diameter. Okay, so Weather Service is going to keep the warning going for Stevens County and mention the potential that there might be a developing tornado at some point. Well, let's take a look. Okay, so we got some pretty good outbound winds right here in pink. That's going this way, but we don't have very strong inbound winds in green. They're pretty weak. So it's nothing imminent, just a little broad rotation for this particular supercell. Now it's by itself, so now I said the cutoff for potential tornadoes would probably be around 9 o'clock this evening, because after that the cap builds in again, even stronger. So we'll see how much latitude we can give this thing. I don't know if latitude is the right word I was looking for. What was I looking for? I was looking for another word that starts with an L. Brain's not working. Anyway, let's see. What was I looking for? I'll hit me when I'm thinking. You guys will probably type it on there for me, but I won't be able to read it. I'm reading the radar right now. Okay, so back up here to this one. Tornado warning again for Welty. You're the only town that's been immediately affected for right now, and it's actually south of there by about 2 miles. We're along 48. No tornado has been detected for a while, but still got some good structure with the storm. So 2-inch size hail has been reported. That was right on 48 at the Ofusking Creek County line. So good size hail with this one. And believe it or not, I have not seen a lot of crazy hail sizes in most of these storms. The golf balls has been most of it. Up here in northeast Oklahoma, there's some pretty good hail. There's 2.5 inches that came out earlier. Let's see, was that 1 inch? There were some other bigger hail size, maybe up to 3 inches I think I saw. And there was a lot of wall clouds up here in northeast Oklahoma for that first batch of storms, but no tornadoes confirmed at all. So this day was pretty good. Let's see.
We are on Highway 48, probably 3 or 4 miles to the south of the intersection of Welty. And we have good visual. I cannot confirm anything on the ground. We just took a baseball to the hood. We're going to reposition here in just a second and try to stay out in front of it. It looks to me like it's tracking southeast, so it's going to be headed towards I-40. So I got cut off. Anyway, we're going to try to get back south with it as it tracks towards maybe possibly the northern sides of Okemah.
Okay, so that was Brandon. They're out there chasing a particular storm. It's got really good radar presentation as far as the back end hook echo goes. But remember, just because a storm has a hook echo doesn't mean it produces a tornado. A lot of storms have hook echoes in the spring. But this one's had a history, albeit extremely brief, as in seconds. But needless to say, it was a history. And my guys are out there underneath it, so they're watching it. But let's see here. I've got a good amount of inflow, let's see, toward the radar. But I have very little, actually none, of airflow direction the other way. Let's see, if I look at the base velocity, it looks like that. Oh, let me do something here. This will help change these winds a bit. 282 at 22. Let me see if this does anything. Because this storm's moving a little different direction than these others. 282 at 22, is that what we said? Yeah, they didn't help a whole lot. Okay. So it's what we call storm relative, which basically takes the motion of the storm out of the environment and just kind of isolates it itself. So we're able to pick up rotation centers a little better without the ambient wind direction contaminating the radar data. So when they get good velocity data, wind data out of this particular product, then that's a better indication of tornadoes, for example. Okay, look aloft. Let's see, a couple tilts up. Finally, there's some rotation there at 7,000 feet. Got to go way up there though for that to happen. Okay, nothing this lowest level yet. Okay, let me see. I am how many distances away? How much distance away am I? Where am I? 43 miles. Okay, that's not too bad from radar. This radar is actually pushing kind of in between two NextRad sites. Let me go here. I'm going to try this one. See if the terminal Doppler weather radar in Tulsa is able to capture this. By the way, I want to thank you guys for joining me here as we continue this live streaming coverage of a particular tornado-warned storm that is south of Tulsa. Okay, so it is within the view there. Let's see if we got any wind out of it. Okay, good. Another radar presentation. This is going to be 40 miles.
We're approximately, I figured out this, we're about 3.5 to 4 miles northwest of the town of Mason. We're going to, oh man, that's a big chunk of hell. We're going to get into Mason and then get east to Highway 56 and then go southwards on that highway. A lot of inflow. The inflow's really increased in the last 2 minutes.
Okay, so he's just expressing increase in inflow, and he keeps taking large chunks of hail to the hood of the car as he's driving. Okay, so let's see here. Radar data indicates your circulation center is just about on 48. This is it right here in this area. So I've switched radar sources, so now my greens and reds are going to be going different directions. So I'll kind of help you out. I basically just always point to you where I think the tornado would be, or where the potential for one would be. So this one again is south of, well, see, about 3 miles or 4 miles now on Highway 48. So, okay, so that's good news. We got a good radar close to this to scan with. So we'll see how the data looks from two different angles. It's always good to have a couple of different angles on a storm. And let's see. By the way, this tornado warning expires. Let's see, was it? Oh, they updated it. Let's see, expires at 9:15, and they have a storm capable of producing a tornado. So they just changed the wording. It's located 3 miles southwest of Welty, moving east at 25. Tornado and tennis ball size hail. Well, those guys took some tennis balls, so I can vouch for that. Okay. Now, we'll see what happens here. There's a few scans where it still kind of maintains the hook, but with that front and play, like I mentioned earlier, kind of coming in like this, it's causing more storms to backbill on the front and causing the whole thing to line out. Okay, that's going to make it very difficult for this thing to keep trying to produce a tornado. So, as I mentioned earlier, it's kind of a short window here for this guy, for many reasons. Tulsa, you got a good thunderstorm coming in your neck of the woods. Sapulpa, Oakhurst, and Jinx. But it's just heavy rain, a little bit of lightning, and some small hail. Although there's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for it. So small, and the word hail being relative. Let's just say it's not giant. It should be under golf ball size. Let's put it that way. Okay, the storm down here in my favorite town of Wapanucka. I think it's way... Nah, I can't even remember. I'm not going to bother. Okay. Nah, velocity data is still pathetic. So nothing happening there. And these guys down here are just some storms. Let's see, earlier the Weather Service was taking a look at this one. Let's see if that's changed any. No, it still has some broad rotation in it at 4,400 feet. Let's see if it's gotten any tighter. We actually have two areas, one here and an old one here. So the new one will take over, the old one will die. So there might be a couple of wall clouds with this one, if you were to actually be able to see it. And this will pass just pretty close to Purnell here in the next 5-10 minutes. Not a tornado warning, just the tail end of this particular storm, which is pretty strong. Okay, no rotation tracks with it. Data just updated, and the data that updated is weaker than it was the last time around. So pretty pathetic. So extremely weak, pathetic circulation here, and the old one wrapped up in here in the core. So this is not going to do anything anytime soon, if ever. But we'll keep watching it for a little bit. So as long as there's a tornado warning, or it looks like a tornado could develop, I'll keep streaming live. Once that changes, though, I'll sign off. Let's go back to the Welty guy. Let's see. There might be some drop frames every now and then. I'm looking at my stream and it's giving me the funky signal. Okay, this one has really picked up in the last scan. So we'll probably have another tornado out of this one then for the Welty area. And it's probably, it's going to be rain wrapped too. So this won't be visible. It'll be rain wrapped. It's hidden in the core of the storm. Let's see. Wind speeds folded over from 49 miles per hour. Okay, just update it again. So let's do this one. Place marker here, control here. We're looking at delta V of 78 knots. That's a EF1 tornado. Should that one actually come down? So that would be on the weaker end of things. And this would be from Welty 1, 2, 3, 4 miles almost due south of you. It kind of did a little loop-de-loop configuration here in the last couple of scans, so the old circulation area completely disappeared and this new one kind of popped up. So still just west of 48 by about 1.5 miles. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, here's the rotation product. This picked up quite a bit as well. Let me take a look upstairs. Back out here. And let me see what the storm looks like. Okay, we are at 55,000 feet, so a good strong thunderstorm. Multiple updraft regions down along that front. The one itself is pretty good there. Alright, let me take a quick look at the velocity data. I'm going to need to adjust that. Let me try this one. Go. Alright. Try this one too. Boy, this is messy. Let me clean that up. Surprisingly, the velocity data upstairs is nothing to speak about. So again, I think it's just that low-level interaction we're going to get with that boundary, and that's what's doing it. Rotation algorithm, that whole thing's messy too, because this whole thing is just a big mess, glob. It's because it's become linear along that front, and that's messed everything up. Really complicated, the three-dimensional look of it. Okay, the tornado, let's see, Weather Service will issue a tornado warning for southwestern Garbin and northeast Stevens County here in a second. Let's see what Brandon had to say.
All right, Aaron, we have maintained our position. We're still 3.5 to 4 miles northwest of Mason. It's really ramped up here in the last 2 minutes. We had a large feeder band coming in from the north side. The circulations are just to our west, maybe a hair to our southwest. We probably have 40-mile-an-hour winds coming in from the west northwest, and the circulations are just to our south.
Okay. Turn that down a little bit. Okay. So they just said visually the storm looks really good. The velocity did like it really picked up quite a bit the last 2 scans. So he's visually confirming that. So we might get a tornado out of this any moment. So again, this will be along Route 48, Highway 48. 3-inch size hail reported out of this. So hail size is increased to hair. So pretty good looking supercell, very strong. Okay, let's go down here real quick. This is the one where the Weather Service has just issued the tornado warning. This is new. This is for the town of Purnell. Will be in the immediate path of this one. So yes, it has tightened up here. Let me go back a frame. Yeah, it went from not much there the last time we checked on it, and then increased there and there. So last 2 frames. Okay, so that's why they issued the warning for it. Let's see, good wind speed there and there. Okay, so Purnell, you'll be in your shelters for this one. Let's take a look at the wording on this. Weather Service. Let's see, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 7 miles northeast of Velma, moving east at 20. So golf ball size hail also possible. Elmore City, Katy, Foster, Tatums, Hennepin, and Purnell are all in the path of this particular storm. Now, that's a long ways away for you guys here on the end, far right end. But Purnell, you'll definitely be in your shelters for sure. Okay. So now we have officially 2 tornado warned storms in the state. Take a quick look at this one here in Atoka. And nothing doing with that one, just a good hail and rain producer. And Ada, and you guys, y'all yell at me in Ada if there's a storm and no one's saying anything about it. I got news for you. It's just a thunderstorm, so don't have to worry. So if you live in Ada, take it easy. It's all right. Nothing's gonna happen there. Just a little thunderstorm. We'll track. Let's see here. Oh, new warning on this one. New warning wording. See what this says. Weather Service tornado warning continues for northern Okfuskee County until 9:45. Severe storm with strong low-level rotation that could produce a tornado at any time was located 4 miles south of Welty, moving southeast of 15. All right, well, we just talked about all that, so that jives with what we're watching in real time. Let's see how the rotation looks. Still about the same. Still tells me we'll just sit here and watch it any minute. And it may not do it, but it's right on the cuff. Let's see. So, by the way, I want to thank you guys that are watching. Most of you are watching because it's an alternative to the crazy, hyped up, we're all gonna die wording that comes out of some of the other sources, and you can tell I'm very relaxed. When I see a tornado, I go, "Yep, tornado warning," and that's about as excited as I get. So there's no need for anxiety or anything else like that. Storms themselves, obviously are attention getters enough. So I just take it really laid back, give you the scientific approach to it, and make sure that everybody's got time to be in their shelters. And that's basically how I approach it, and that's all it is. So I want to thank you for watching and your support. I run into people all the time that says, "Man, I was all worked up," and then somebody said to tune in to Aaron, and all of a sudden my anxiety just went away. So I love hearing that because that's what I'm here for. That's why I'm doing this. Okay, so check out this Purnell one. Still wrapped up, still looks pretty good. It's 2 miles west of Highway 76. That runs just through Purnell. So let's see, let me give you a cross street. Again, there's not much out here. So we're going to County Road 1720. What is it? 1710. So the intersection is really County Road 1710 and County Line Road. That's where this particular tornado would be if there actually is one. Circulation actually has decreased in the last scan. So if it didn't produce a tornado earlier, I don't see how it's going to be able to produce one now. But again, a tornado warning remains in effect, so never disregard a tornado warning. Stay in your shelters. Always take those seriously. Still circulation on radar. It's just not nearly as good as it was a few moments ago. All right, back up here to our other guy. Got to cover some geographical area here, back and forth. So our Welty storm looks like it's just sitting there, which makes sense. If it's anchored on that front, and if that front's not moving very far in an eastward direction, in other words, the front's moving more in a southward direction versus an east, and it's just taking its sweet time, it's just going to sit there and anchor on it. And that's why this whole thing is messed up and gone to a big line. So we'll see what it can do. Let's see, 2 3/4 inch hail now reported out of this. This is east of Welty and southwest of Noyuka. Okay.
Hey Aaron, we're repositioning. We just went through the town of Mason. We're going to get east here just a little bit and then drop back south on Highway 56 towards I-40 just on the east side of Okemah. Our stream's going in and out. The cell service down here is crazy, but we should have good cell service here in just a second when we get closer back to I-40.
All right. So they're wanting to go to I-40 because the storm has been moving more southeast with the cold front over the last 15 minutes versus more due east, which is what it was doing before it met the cold front and before it produced a tornado. Okay, up here northeast Oklahoma, just some storms rolling through, little wind, little hail, Same thing in Tulsa, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts was reported, and 1-inch diameter hail. So little wind, little hail. So this has not been a severe weather outbreak. This has not been a tornado outbreak. This has not been any kind of outbreak. This has just been our typical Oklahoma. We get a few severe storms that break the cap and affect a few people. So keep that in mind also when you hear those kind of words being thrown around. They're overused. They're attention getters. Most of the time they're misused in the wrong ways for the wrong reasons. So a grain of salt for everything. Other than a tornado warning. That's the one thing you don't have a grain of salt with. Everything else, a grain of salt. And a warning, not a watch. There's a difference between the two. Watch just means conditions are favorable later on. Warning means it's imminent. And those come within 45-minute blocks. Okay. Lehigh and Atoka. We'll just check on you guys. Nope, no change there. Still just a thunderstorm. Alright. And these actually are weakening quite a bit up around Ada and Holdenville. I'm not sure how much longer they're going to manage to hold together. They're going to need that cold front to be able to give them a little extra oomph. So we'll see what can happen with that. Let's see. Let me check the velocity data here. Not much to write home about. Broad, very broad. Now it's got two centers, so it's fighting two areas. One here and one here. It's not going to produce a tornado. Okay. Stream still goes yellow every now and then, which is an indicator that it's dropping some frames. So let me make sure I'm still up. So let me go to my own page. Where am I? Refresh this. See if Shane's still out there. Yeah, they're still out there driving in the dark. Let me see. Okay, that's them. Alright, where was I? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I'm seeing my stream now on there, so looks like everything's good. Okay. I'm reading some of your comments right now, and you do realize I can't read a lot of these, or most of them when I'm doing this, just because I'm busy tracking tornadoes. So I hope you guys give me a little leeway on that. So somebody's asking about Fayetteville, Arkansas. Alright, so let me just give you a big picture of things. Let's see, let's go use this radar real quick here. I haven't used this one yet. Alright, so here's the deal. Here's the real big picture. So, you've got storms that have fired up in this fashion in this area. Okay, and you've got a cold front that is now working through basically in this area, so pushing southeast. So as this front intersects this area where all these storms are, that should help to give them an extra kick to form a squall line. That squall line will be wind and hail. Okay, well, that squall line will then solidify in this area and press south and east rather quickly through the midnight hour and finally pushing way down here close to midnight, then eventually exiting Oklahoma at all, a little after midnight. So what I'm telling you is you're probably going to get a squall line if you live anywhere south and east of this line, but it's going to be a while. And that squall line means wind and hail, so no tornadoes. The tornado threat is going to be we're already at 9 o'clock, so our tornado window is quickly closing off. So if it doesn't happen within the next, I'll give another half hour, then odds are it's probably not going to happen. Okay? Alright. Let me see what... A buddy of mine just texted me, "You are being watched. Does it feel creepy?" Well, it does now, Alex. I used to think this was actually a non-creepy thing, but now I'm completely creeped out. But thanks for watching, you guys out there in Shawnee. It's just a little ray, no biggie. And actually, Shawnee, this tail end right here will continue to back build. So you should get some thunderstorms develop right on top of you here in the next half hour. They'll be weak ones, but they'll bubble up here pretty quick along that front. Alright, back here to this guy. it has become a multicellular mess and has lost all of its circulation. It's toast. Done. No tornado. Let me see the other view from the other radar. If it confirms, it confirms. Done. Alright, well that's what happens when they line out like that and they become a big mess. I figured we didn't have much time for that to do something, and what we did, and that was what, 10 minutes ago, and now it's over. Okay, only game in town now is in southern Oklahoma, and that is you guys in the Purnell area, and that had broadened out. That one's toast already. Remember, well, that was toast a while ago. 2 weak circulations, one due west of Purnell, extremely weak, extremely broad, not going to produce a tornado in that look. The one down here south of Ratliff City, new, weak. So we go. We got nothing on radar that indicates tornadoes anywhere in the state. Officially, we still have 2 tornado warnings though, and that'll be that way until they expire, or until the Weather Service goes ahead and just cancels them, which they usually do either one. It's just flip of a coin. So, look, I am flabbergasted that we have been able to go through our entire spring with so few tornadoes. It is crazy. This normally does not happen. We're not even anywhere close to our average. We're not even going to get our average. Our average is 56 a year with, I believe it's about 46 of those, somewhere around there. 45 that occur here, now, in the spring. Okay. Yeah, my storm chaser guys are getting frustrated because they want to see some action. I don't blame them. I used to do all that stuff. I used to storm chase like crazy until one chased me. And that was the end of that. Ooh, 8 seconds. That was the difference between me being here and not being here. If that don't wake you up, nothing will. So I was like, all right, that's it, I'm done. Which was fine anyway, because I was getting frustrated with all the Tom, Dick, and Harrys out there on the road. All the wannabes, all the newbies, all the, hey, I've got a cell phone with a radar on it. Now I'm a storm chaser. Clogging up every road, so all your emergency exits are clogged up. All your getaway plans are hosed. It became such a cluster that I was like, I'm out of this nonsense. So it was good timing. And now I do this, which is way better anyway for you guys. And I get to stay at home, so way better for me too. All right. Quick look here, just poking around. Now here's the deal, if circulations don't pick up, you know what that means? It means I sign off. Now I usually wait after I call it, which I've already called it, 4 minutes ago. I usually wait a couple more scans just to make sure that nothing tries to come out of the blue, re-intensify. But this one up here is gone. So gone, there's nothing even there. So, like I said, never disregard a tornado warning, but I can tell you that the storm that was once capable of it is long gone. It's just a multicellular clustered mess of nonsense with some hail and heavy rain. So that goes for you guys in Okemah, Okfuskee County, Okmulgee, Schulter, Henrietta. So that's kind of the deal there. Alright, back up here to Tulsa. Just some rain moving through, a little bit of wind, a little bit of hail. So I'm sure that Rocklahoma concert, for the most part today, was okay. Just a couple of storms moving through, that's about it. And they weren't even that bad. And then down here, this is the only other area of interest. Alright. I'll still keep on this just for a few more minutes. Because it's the tail end. It's the most southern one. So it's got the best shot of seeing anything if it does. Let's see. Weather Service issued a new warning for this? They did. For a whole new part of the storm. The old part we were talking about, since I said that was long gone, they should just cancel those if they're going to do that. But they issued a new one on the far back end of it. Storm 4 miles southwest of Paden, capable of producing a tornado.
Hey, Aaron, we are still just east of Mason, about 5 miles to the west of Highway 56 junction. I was going to see if you could help me out here. It looks maybe like there's a new circulation trying to form back over the town of Boley. Could you help me out there with that?
This is so pathetic. That's really bad. Alright, well, it is what it is. So, tornado warning for Paden and Boley from the National Weather Service. This particular back end of the mess of multi-clustered nonsense continues to develop. Let me check out this other radar. It's just beyond the reach. If there's anything out here, just beyond the reach of that one. But it's well within the reach of this one. And I got nothing for you. Those are frustrating for me. Those are frustrating for me. I don't mind a tornado warning as long as there's actually something there. But we'll see. Maybe something will develop. We'll just sit here a couple more minutes and see. Okay, let me let him know. So, like I always say, be in your shelters for a tornado warning. Never disregard one. Okay. Nothing at all substantial on radar. Maybe in a few minutes. Alright. Okay, so this is where I get quiet because I don't have much to tell you. Let's see what this one down here in Purnell is doing. Looks like it's been reorganizing. Yeah, it's a little area of Ratliff City. That's been the new potential region of circulation that would develop. It would be in this area, but it's going to have to be a minute. The Purnell one, the old one, right here, is broad over a 2.5 mile region. So that's not going to do anything. Okay, updated warning from the Weather Service. Let's see if this changed. Yep, 9:15. Tornado warning for East Central Stevens is canceled. Moved out of the area. But it continues for Garvin, Northwest Carter, and Murray. Storm capable of producing a tornado was located 4 miles southwest of Foster, moving east at 15. Golf ball size hail also possible. Okay. Well, some big hail is going to come at you in Katy. At least golf ball size. So, I'm bouncing around back and forth between both of them, trying to find any reason at all for these tornado warnings, and there's not one. Let me go upstairs. Maybe there's some strong mid-level circulation. I usually look at the low level because that's what I'm interested in and tracking. Let me go upstairs. Maybe there's something there. No. Why in the world was that issued? Alright. Sometimes you just keep your mouth shut and move on. We'll go down here in the south. Hey, that Purnell one picked up here in the last... Look at that. The circulation tightened up from 3 miles back up to a mile. So, Purnell... You've been in your shelters probably for this whole... You should have been anyway this whole time. This new circulation just redeveloped just west of you. So it's still weak, but that would be the spot to look for. That is about half a mile west of 76, just the north end of Purnell. So that would be the potential tornado location, should there be one. Now, let me see if you can actually see it. Nah, it's wrapped in rain. You wouldn't be able to see anything on there. Plus, it's dark. But that's where that location would be. So, potential tornado there. Okay. So, right now, because it's moving east at 15, I mean, I could give you a storm track, and it's going to have Purnell in it for a next, 10 minutes. And eventually, it'll have Katy in it after about half an hour. That's it. Those are the only two towns immediately affected, and this tornado area circulation would be gone by then anyway. I have to look for a new one. Okay. Make sure that none of these others are doing anything important. Still check on this one every now and then. Nope, nothing there. Okay, back up here to this one. Some good hail in Boley, and nothing else. Prague just got some good rain. Let's see what else is happening. Looks like a new shower going up right here over Johnson. Pretty close to Shawnee. Pretty close. See if that turns into something. What is this? Somebody messed up their icons. They dropped the tornado icon for hail. But that'll get your attention. Okay. Back down here. Our only any from the two storms is the only one that actually had any circulation with it at all. And it's already gone. It's right over the town of Purnell though, what's left of it. So that was what, one scan right there where it looked pretty decent. And that's this right here. Green and red together. Pretty tight. And there's Purnell. So just west of town, but the next scan after that, gone. Stay in your shelters anyway, though, of course. Let's see what my guys have to say. Oh. Alright, just some more silliness. What is that? Let's see. The Tatum's area, the Ratliff City area, this was the other inflow into this tail end of the storm. But no means is it wrapped up in anything. It's not even in the right position. So, not indicative of any circulation that's going to produce anything anytime soon. Okay. Well, yeah, whatever's left of that Purnell area is completely obliterated. So now we're back to not having any circulations there. Oh, let's go back up here real quick. Boley and Paden area. I still got nothing up there either. Alright, well that's good news. Don't get me wrong. Really good news. I'm not disappointed. Okay. Back up to here. What we got? So, low-level jet's kicking in, or has been kicking in, so that's like a river of air, a couple thousand feet off the ground. It's really strong out of the south, and that's getting detected by the radar. Anyway, so this is helping to increase the winds into this part of the storm. But it's this hook area here. I don't even call it a hook, but this tail end area here needs to look more like this. And that's not doing it. So when I look at the velocity data, I do have a lot of inbound wind coming toward the radar, but my outbound wind is very weak and very broad. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 miles. So that means nothing in the span of tornadoes. It needs to be again within a mile, mile and a half kind of a deal. But we'll see what happens with it. See, new scan just came in, same deal. Now, sometimes you can get an anticyclonic tornado on the back end. So that is where you get, we're going to issue a tornado warning for Carter Murray. Alright, so you get a tornado with winds going this way and winds going this way, so opposite. Clockwise tornado. So it's an anticyclonic tornado. And that would be the case here, just north of Ratliff City, on the back end of this hook. So, if anything, I'm more impressed with the potential for a very weak EF0 tornado that's about a mile and a half north of Ratliff City on Highway 76, just south of Napa Road and north of Cargo Road. So, if anything, that's where I think there would be a brief, tiny EF0 tornado. This guy out here, east of there, south of Tatum's, I got nothing just yet. Okay. So they said what? Carter and Murray. Alright, so they're going to issue a new tornado warning that's going to cover this new area of spin we've been talking about, and also this anticyclonic one. So that'll cover those two. Back here to the north we go. Still got nothing. Okay. See what.
Hey, Aaron, we killed our stream just until I can get him back in position to actually maybe see something. We're fixing to be coming in to Okima on this tornado warning cell.
Alright, well, those guys aren't giving up on it, so they're going to be hanging out with it. They still may try to do something at some point. I just don't have anything for you on radar that shows anything of any regions of concern. We'll see. Maybe it'll surprise me. But it's going to be another minute. Alright, so let's see here. Oh, the front is through Norman, Oklahoma City. It runs about like so. So, Oklahoma City, no threat of any rain or storms or anything from here on out as far as this particular rough stuff goes. We did have some storms out here in the Texas Panhandle. Those will move east tonight and southeast, but I really think they'll fall apart over time because they're back in that stable air, and right now they're in elevated terrain. They still have leftover daytime heating, a couple other things that are helping them go, which I think they'll lose their punch. Okay, center of potentially tornadic circulation is 4 miles east of Ratliff City. Alright, yep, we've already talked about that. See how it looks. Still getting there, but it's getting a little better. It's now over this little region here, which is about a mile and a half circulation. It's not strong, but we'll see if it tightens up in that little gap. So that'll pass north of Poolville. Let's see. So that's due east of Ratliff City. What road is this on? Delta Road. So it is on Delta Road with the intersection of Deacon Road, coming up on Poolville Road. Poolville doesn't show up on this map. Let's see if it shows up on this one. No Poolville. That's terrible. Why not? Let me see something. City thresholds. Show the smallest at 125. I guess it's just not there. You guys didn't make the database. How about that? Poolville must be tiny. Population of 2. Okay, so this is the region of interest. This is south of Hennepin and south of Tatum's, east of Ratliff City. So we're in that old middle of nowhere region, which I know a few of you live in the middle of nowhere. I'm just saying it's not in a big town, a big populated region. There's a lot of middle of nowhere in Oklahoma. The state is filled with the middle of nowhere. We have more middle of nowhere than we have anything else. That's a good thing when it comes to tornadoes. Okay, we got going here. Let me see. It's downdraft. That might be the forward flank downdraft region of this cell here. So this is the main cell. This was the first cell over here. This is the new one on the back end. So we're kind of splitting hairs, but now this is in the forward flank of this cell, in the back end of this cell. And that's causing a downdraft to form. So that's where you get your strong winds around Castle on Highway 48 and 62. So we're looking at 60 miles per hour, so it's not crazy. Let's see. Possible tornadoes reported. Where? I think they're talking about the one. Yeah, it has to be the one down here. Okay, so a possible tornado was reported southeast of Tatum's by about 3 miles. So I don't know. Not sure where that came from. I don't have any source for that. Okay, let's see. Am I giving up on this one up here in Tulsa area? It's just out of the range. I'll hang with that one for a little bit longer. All right. So we have plenty of inbound wind. That's feeding into the storm, not surprising. And we have very little outbound wind. This is at 5,000 feet. We need a stronger mesocyclone than that. Let's see what else is going on here. What's happening in Velma? Some noise. Okay. I grew up, and I don't say grew up, but I spent many summers in Velma. My grandparents lived out here on Larry Humphrey's farm. I haven't been there since I was probably, 14, something like that. So that was fun. I'd go out there and fish and hunt with my little BB gun every year, every summer. Had a blast. City boy, living in the country. Can't beat it. I grew up in Dallas, so that's why I always enjoyed going to Velma. Completely different. Alrighty. Let me take a look at this storm. There we go. Finally getting a rotation track on it. That took forever. Alright, let's take a look here. $55,000 feet. That's where this thing ends. And it's actually taller than that. Whew, that's like a 60,000 foot storm. Impressive. Alright, so there's your updraft region there in the red. What's strange is just the hail sizes have not been as big as what all the models thought they'd be with as much instability. And I haven't looked at the other parameters such as the wet bulb, freezing level, the lapse rates, all the other stuff. They all play a factor in hail sizes too. But I've been a little busy today, as I'm sure most of you have been as well. Okay, take a look here. Alright, let me see if I can't bring that back down a hair. Man, this data just looks terrible. this one. Oh, it's just so weak. Alright, let's try this one. Alright. A lot of noise at the this area. Okay, rotation track. Let's see what that looks like. Looks like everything else I looked at tonight. Surprisingly, though, this particular rotation track, which basically goes like this on your inbound and outbound, so it kind of one side's like this, one side's like this, and it's very tight in the middle. So typically that's pretty good, but those other views I looked at did not corroborate this. Alright. None of these cells are clean. They're not traditional supercell looks to them anymore. We're getting more multicellular looks to them. That's jacking everything up. Alright, oops, let me do that. Okay, so center of circulation is 1, 2, 3 miles due south of Hennepin. What road is this on? Hill Country Road is where it's located. That's just west of the County Line Road, or I think it's the County Line Road, yeah. Yeah, County Line into Murray, just west of there on Hills Country Road. Okay, new scan just came in, so that puts it just right on the county line. Just a smidge to the left or west, and again 1, 2, 3 miles south of Hennepin. Alright, that'll be heading up toward Davis area, Turner Falls, in the next 30 minutes, 15-30 minutes. So we'll see if it continues to try to produce a tornado during that time. Check out this Velma thing again. Still just some noise. Okay. Alright, it is 9:30, so we are getting late. Back up here to Boley, Okfuskee. Let's see what else is going on up here. Let's see, earlier I was looking at something. Wasn't I? Yeah, right there, some wind. And that's already gone. Alright. Anything else up there? No. Okay. Well, it is what it is. Where was that front? Still in Norman? Come on, it's got to move back now. What happened here? Well, that's some crazy stuff. Hold on a second. How about that? Huh. Alright, well, we had a dry line earlier today that was kind of running along this level here. Well, the dry line has been retreating to the northwest as the cold front has been coming in. So the two have met from Chickasha to Norman. Alright. Let's see, anything here on this radar? Nope. Okay. Alrighty. Now, we're getting pretty close to where I sign off if something doesn't change here pretty soon. I've said that before. Every time I say that, something will like get my attention for a few more minutes, and then that few minutes gets extended. That's the way it goes. This guy here is still worth talking about. It's just there's been nothing reported out of it. Nothing official. All right. Well, I'm not really worried about these tornado warnings up here. I haven't been since they were issued. I am thinking, though, that this one here has potential to do something. It's just right now it's, what's it over? Ooh, 2.5 or 2 3/4 inch hail just came in. So some big hail. So we're over here over this, shoot. Well, I don't know if it's this park area. It's non-populated. I don't know if it's a reservation. It's hard to tell. Could just be all part of Turner Falls. I don't know where the boundaries are. They're not on this map. It's all west of Butterley Road, though. That I can tell you. Okay. So let's see. Assuming this thing moves on its steadward course, it'll cross over the intersection of 77 and 35 south of Davis. So that's where the circulation feature will be, but it's going to be a while. Probably another 20 minutes or so. Okay. Let me see what else we got going on down here. Alright, just that. Yeah, the rotation products increased a little bit more south of Hennepin. We're about, at this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles southeast of that town. So no major towns in its path, just the Turner Falls area and the split of 35 and 77 eventually, assuming this thing even makes it that far. Has not wrapped up to the point to where it looks like it's producing a tornado, but it's pretty close. Radar signature's good enough, 4,000 feet, where you should have at least a wall cloud on it at this point. Alrighty. Let's see what else I got going on. That's it. Okay. Well, let me jump on here. Brenda says, saying some storms coming in around 1 or 2 in the metro. Hope not tornadic. No, nothing is going to be tornadic in Oklahoma City. We're having a tough time getting tornadic just in the areas where there's a potential to be tornadic. These guys are struggling. The tornado watch actually was canceled for Oklahoma City anyway, and probably much of central Oklahoma. Let's see, I haven't heard from my guys in a while either, which means they don't have much to report. So, let's see. Alright, so no new information to pass along. Oh, I'm sitting here not looking at the comments. Falls Creek and Turner Falls are full of campers. Yes, I would imagine they are. Well, I don't know what y'all's protocol is down there for that, but big storm coming in. Regardless of the fact whether it will or won't produce a tornado, it's going to have the hail and wind and heavy rain with it. Let's see. Multiple tornadoes are not occurring. I don't care who's saying it. There hasn't been a single report of one tornado, much less multiple. But I'm telling you, it can happen at any point in time. Now, it's definitely going to be a wall cloud there, and there's probably going to be some funnels for sure. But when it's dark, it's going to be difficult to see much more than that. All right. So the circulation center is about 10 miles west of Turner Falls. So like I said, it'll pass along that intersection right along 77 and 35. So Turner Falls, was it? Should be just south of the creek, the Washita River stream, just south of there. All right, so I've got, oh good, I got one of my guys have caught up to it. So Shane, Oklahoma Storm Chasers, he's out of Davis right now, so he's gonna get a perfect view of that. Of course, I closed his stream earlier. Let's see, no, here it is. Good, so he's still up and running, so we'll be able to see what he sees. I'll have to tell him to keep me posted. All right. Okay, so yeah, I did have something to eat before I started this. Big old plate of Chinese food, like literally this big. All right, somebody's asking if there's been any confirmed reports of tornadoes in Garvin and Murray counties. Because there hasn't been, as far as everybody knows. So we're about to get the answer to that from the National Weather Service. So if they say then yes, then my answer is yes. If they say no, then my answer is no. Okay, real quick up here. These storms that never ever had a tornado with them or circulation with them, but had a warning with them, have all expired. So good deal there. Old news, as we say. But is a line of storms back building all the way down to Johnson and just right into Shawnee. How about that? Okay, more scatter storms south from there. No big deal. Big storms, these two. One in Velma and the one coming in Turner's Falls. Weather Service confirms there have not been any tornado reports out of this area. So guys, be careful what you're hearing or what you think you're hearing or what you're passing along. So no tornadoes so far confirmed out of this area of rotation that we're looking at. Now that could change any minute, but at this point in time, nothing. Yeah, you heard me. Chinese food, Melissa. I had to hurry. Only had like 15 minutes. I was watching these storms for tornadoes. Like, what kind of food am I going to eat in 15 minutes? I went down from a China chef and loaded up. Dragon Meats Phoenix. She's busting my butt here for eating a cheap meal, especially without her. So, man, it was, yeah, it was the Dragon Meats Phoenix, is shrimp, and, oh, what was the other chicken? The one I like. General. It was so good. I ate the whole thing. Well, almost all of it. All right. You're supposed to be in bed anyway. It's past your bedtime. Get sleep. Be watching this stream. Ain't no storms in Newcastle. All right. So, still watching this for potential storm coming into the Davis area. I got Shane on it. He's this guy. Oh, his stream just went offline. Shane. All right, here's his position. Let's see. Did it update? Where are we? No, his position didn't update either. His GPS is off. Boy, he's having all kinds of technical difficulties. All right, plenty of lightning with this guy's down here. That's all the bright white, indicating the storm is pretty intense. So when you get a lot of bright white, it means recent contacts, a lot of lightning strikes. It means that the usually an increase like this can lead to tornado potential if that's already in the works. And it is in the works for us on this one. Okay. Okay, new tornado warning just came out. The extension of this old one for Murray County till 10:15. National Weather Service indicates a tornado capable of producing a tornado, not a tornado, but capable of. 5 miles southeast of Hennepin, moving east at 25. Also some golf ball size hail. So that has picked up speed a little bit. I think it was 15 miles per hour in the last one. So let me update this speed. 271 at 22. 271. Okay. The radar presentation is the same as it's always been. Good inbound. Now it's getting some pretty good outbound, and there's like a good 1 mile area there where it's tightened up. Now this is at 5,000 feet elevation, so it just indicates a very strong mesocyclone. Does not indicate the tornado. We can't track the actual tornado being this high in elevation. Wow, there was a delayed report just came in from one of these storms southwest of Purcell. 4-inch size diameter hail. Yeah, that was at least over an hour ago. Yeah, man, that's some big hail. Must have been one little hailstone though compared to the rest. Okay. So this cluster of storms in southern Oklahoma is kind of what we've been focusing on because it's been the only game in town. Other storms in northeast Oklahoma are just your standard typical Oklahoma thunderstorms in spring. Little wind, little hail. Same thing with batch up here in Prague, Shawnee, to Mogi. That's actually weakened quite a bit, believe it or not. This Atoka one's also got some hail in it, east of Phillips and Lehigh. But that's about it with that one. And then, like I said, this is the only game in town as far as potential tornadoes. Okay. Oh, I feel for you, Brandon. He's out there. He's going to have to head home empty-handed today. All right, so Weather Service mentioned some big hail out here in the Panhandle, 2 3/4. So they're going to call for baseball-sized hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds. For this particular monster right here near Slapout. That's in the eastern Texas Panhandle. Let's see, Elmwood. Numerous power lines down due to straight line winds 6 miles west of Elmwood in Beaver County. So as this storm moved through, it dropped a load of wind and some hail. Big hail, big wind. It's moving southeast. That'll be towards Shattuck here in the next 30 minutes. I still think they should weaken with time as they get farther into Oklahoma. But for right now, still packing a punch out there. All right. Let's see. What we got going on here? Back down here to the south. The radar data is extremely messy. Alright, the secondary area rotation is this one northwest of Ratliff City. That's kind of come on board in the last few scans. Nothing extremely strong. So we'll see what ends up with that, if anything. Okay. This jumbled mess of colors, which is the algorithms of the radar is having a lot of problems de-aliasing this. Too much noise and clutter built into the feed. I don't know what mode they're in, but they should switch if they can. Okay, what was Alright, so Shane is now down close to that area, so let's see what he has to say.
Aaron, do you have a copy on this?
Yeah, I've got you, and everyone that you send, I'll just play live. Alright, so Also, can you turn your GPS back on? Alright, so I can find out exactly where he is. I need to keep him out of harm's way too.
Yeah, stand by.
Alright.
Alright, I don't know if my stream's coming through. I'm having some data issues out here up in these up in these hills.
Oh, forgot about that. Okay. Let me see. No, 3 minutes ago. Yeah, he did a minute ago. Okay. Yeah, he's down for now. Alright, maybe he'll get back up here in a minute. Gotta find some data. Okay, so let me see how this cluster up here is doing. Alright, so this storm group, on the intensity of storms, the more red and, in this case, black colors you see are the stronger they are of the storm complexes. So if you look up here in the last few frames, there's a lot less red in this batch up here. There's one little holdout right there. And that's the guy that's doing all the damage. But by far and large, this complex is weakening. So that jives with what I was saying earlier. Meanwhile, these guys are just cranking away here. And then you got these other kind of spotty ones in this area. So some good healthy storms. Alright. So, let's see, put him back up. Alright, I gotta check something here. The next road out of Twin Lakes, which is just east of Norman, is the one that we're using to reach these storms down here. And like I said before, it's having some problems on de-aliasing. Well, that'll give me bogus radar data. I gotta be careful. Because, in other words, this looks like a rotation area here. Okay. But when I go up here at the next tilt up, what's time on that? 50? I'm not sure that's even real. I'll have to see another couple more frames. And what's weird is the algorithms think it's real because of the data coming back in, so it plots the rotation signatures, kind of like this one over here and this one over here. But if the radar algorithms can get fooled if the data's bad. Remember, garbage in, garbage out. Okay. Yeah, these algorithms are having a really tough time because the data is so garbled. Wow. And here's the other problem. The other radar we could be using to get a better look at this in this area is located here, which would be ideal, but it's down. Things are always down when you need them, huh? So, okay. Well, again, there has not been, to my knowledge, and to the National Weather Service's knowledge, any confirmed tornadoes out of this area we've been watching for a while. That's great news for the guys here at Turner Falls. Still the area of concern to watch, but there has not been a tornado thus far. And it's now 10 o'clock, so that window for a tornado that I talked about earlier, it really already closed. So to get one now, it's going to be really difficult. And we're looking down in southern Oklahoma, by the way. That's where all the severe storm type action is located, but has potential for a tornado or something like that. This one over here in Shawnee, some showers building up to Johnson, to Prague, Payton, Boley. A little thunderstorm activity, a little bit of hail thrown in there from time to time on the smaller end of sizes now. Storms are really weakened quite a bit in the last half hour. Let's see some more there northeast and east of Tulsa. So, like I think I said earlier in the broadcast, this is just real surprising that we really haven't had that many tornadoes this spring. Nowhere near our normal for the season. And today was not an outbreak of anything. It was just our typical thunderstorms in Oklahoma, with a few of them being severe and a few of them containing some big hail. This was the 4-inch monster in Purcell. It happened at 02:07, so at 8:07 p.m. Man, that was just south of 39 and just east of Bryant Avenue. So somewhere in that little quadrant was reported some big old hail. That'll be the biggest of the day. You guys win. You win the hail prize. Okay, let me see here. Okay. Well, the good news is, even though there's a tornado warning, there has not been one sighted. I'm pretty sure there's at least been a wall cloud for sure. And at some point, there may even have been a few funnels in the dark, but there's been no confirmations, no damage, nothing like that. And it is now coming up on the intersection of 35 and 77 here in Turner Falls. So the best news I can give you is that so far. Let's hope it stays that way. Man, it's hard to trust the radar data down here, though. It's so messed up. If you were believed for what it is, it would indicate a really serious circulation center coming up on that highway intersection I mentioned. Let's see what Shane has to say.
I have a confirmed lowering about 3 miles west, actually southwest of Davis. I apologize. That would be 7.3 miles southwest.
All right, 7.3 miles southwest of Davis. This is Shane's live feed. Let me get a look at where he is on the radar here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, he's right at the intersection too. All right. Well, he would know. He's right in the middle of it. All right. I don't know if we can see anything with his live shot. We'll need some lightning. Get those headlights out of the way. Maybe we might be able to see the lowering. But he should be looking right at whatever it is. And the question is his camera gonna? What is his camera gonna autofocus on? That's the other problem. Oh, I see the lowering. Oh, I saw it. Wall cloud right here, right there in the middle. So look at that little circle. So, oh, it's not gonna work. Does that work? No. Yeah, it was right in here somewhere. And his camera is having some autofocus issues. So hopefully it'll clear up for the next shot. Let's tell him. Oof, that was a really close lightning strike. I saw the wall cloud straight in front of you. Can you turn your autofocus off? Man, he's got a heck of electrical deal there.
can't right now. Sammy's been experimenting with that with the type of camera we have.
Oh, okay. Well, it was good there for one frame anyway. All right, so again, this potential tornadic circulation will be crossing over 35 and 77. Weather Service issued some new wording on this particular tornado warning and did say there was a confirmed tornado near Turner Falls moving east at 25. So now a confirmed tornado. So Sulphur, Davis, Daugherty, and Lake of the Arbuckles and Turner Falls includes mile marker 35, or excuse me, Interstate 35, mile markers 46 and 55 between those two. So this is basically the location where the tornado would be. Let's see. Looks like they got back on the road to reposition or probably get the heck out of Dodge, one or the other. It was getting pretty close to him. So he did not see the tornado though, and he was looking straight at it. So it may have been another report where it was one of those that was really quick and then gone. So I don't know who made that report. There's no information on it, no location information on it. I don't even know if it was legitimate. Who knows? But the Weather Service put that in their wording. So we'll have to assume that there was some legitimacy behind it. Okay. So now pressing east of this interchange. So, man, there's road networks out here. South of the Ouachita River stream. Of course, we already told you the mile markers where it was between. Let's see, none of these other little K-Star Trail that shows up. So that'll be hitting that area here soon. I wish I knew that little side road that went jotted east. This might tell me. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, what road is this? Oh, it's K-Star Trail, that's why. It's K-Star Trail that whole way. So that's where the particular tornadic circulation is running along. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. I don't see any debris signatures. Let me do a double panel here. Yeah, not seeing any debris signature. That's good news. If I would see a debris signature, that would mean we'd have a tornado doing some damage, and I don't see that. So I think it's one of those deals where Storm Spotter thought they saw one, or if they did, it was lasted for a few seconds, something like that. And because the rotation signature has been on radar for a long enough time, the Weather Service played it safe and just says, yep, let's just call it a sighted tornado and let everybody know, because it's going over that campsite area. So let's just hope that that's all that was, and it wasn't anything more than that. Let me see here. I know I had some people on here from that area. Let's see. Storms of the Storm Tracker, he reported tornado on the ground near Turner Falls. Dottie was saying that. Sorry guys, I can't read these comments all the time, but yeah, there's a couple. If you know, if you're down there in that area and you know, obviously pass it along to me this way as well. Or just looking for information and confirmation. Okay. And Dottie, when you say that, there's a big area there, so I don't know if he knew particular where. Let's see. So new tornado warning coming for downstream of Turner Falls. In other words, they're just going to keep the warning going. Actually, that was already issued, unless they're going to put out another one. So that would take it into Mill Creek. Maybe that's what it is. It'll just extend it for Mill Creek. Because once it passes over Dotary, it will head into Mill Creek next. But that's going to be, again, about another 20, 25 minutes maybe before that happens. Let's see. Big hail with this particular storm too, up to 2 3/4 inches in diameter. So that's still pretty impressive there. Strongest velocity signature southeast of Davis. And this jumbled mess. So, particular tornado circulation should be right about here. That's what we're looking at. And that would coming up on, let's see, State Highway 110 coming out of Davis. That's where that intersection is going to be, in Healy Road. So that's where the potential tornado is going to be. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't heard anything more. I haven't heard anything about the campers. I'm sure, most of them are seeking shelter in some fashion. There's been no detailed information about where the tornado was, how long it lasted, where it was located, when it was. Let's see. So, at night it is difficult to get information, is what I can tell you. See if Shane's got anything new to pass along. Okay. So, let's see, circulation center. 1, 2, 3 miles southeast of Davis.
FYI, it looked like that the Turner Falls or whatever the campers were being evacuated of some sort. A bunch of vehicles were pulling out of there whenever I passed by. Right now I'm headed northbound on I-35 and should have a pretty decent view of anything that's coming up over front of us.
All right. Okay, I don't know what in the world that implied. To evacuate a campsite when it's too late and you're in a car and you've got the tornado already on top of you, I'm not sure where the logic is in that. So that's why it's hard for me to comment, but that is a really bad idea. And I don't know. Oof, that was tough. I'm not so sure what in the world's going on down there. It may have just been a every man for himself, fight or flight kind of deal. All I know is that that's a tough call. Not sure what the answer is on that one, but a lot of people down there camping. I just hope nobody was hurt, either evacuating or remaining or in the shelters or whatever it may be. Okay, so he went back north to look south to see if he can't get a better view. This is right on 35. And the circulation center actually moved a little north the last couple of frames. It was 3 miles southeast of Davis. So we may not be able to see much on his stream, is my guess. So it's already past I-35 in the Turner Falls area, so it's now east of there. Now you'll need to pan more to your southeast. Let's see, a 60-mile-per-hour wind was just recorded in Davis a few minutes ago. This state is really bad. Really bad. So this area of circulation went east with a slight jog to the northeast. So we're 3.5 miles now, almost due southeast of Davis. Now there's some, looks like a community in here, Chickasha Trail and Primrose Lane and Zellner Road, Seminole Drive. So this basically neighborhood and community is in the immediate path of whatever's left of this circulation. So let's hope that it's not a tornadic one at this time, because that would be going through that neighborhood. Let me look. You know, I still never saw a tornado debris signature for damage. So let's hope that doesn't change. I never did. So hopefully that means that it didn't touch anything, didn't touch down, didn't do any damage, something of that nature. Okay. So anywhere from Dotery to southeast of Davis up on Highway 7 up towards Sulphur, just be in your shelters till the storm passes by. Shelters or the center part of your home, lowest floor, many walls between you and the outside. I think we have 2 areas of circulation now trying to develop. One maybe right over Dotery, and the other one is the older one that's up north of there. Let's see, does the radar algorithms pick those up? It dropped the one to the north that's weakened, but it's picking up the Dotery one. Alright. Let's see. So there's his shot. He's back on the road. We couldn't see much from his deal because it was dark. He may just try to get in a better position to repark the camera. Okay. Alrighty. Now another thing is, if I missed a lot of your important comments, say related to this particular area, you know something I don't know, I can pass along. You'll need to retype it because they scroll by and then I can't scroll through them. It only shows me like 4 of the most recent posts. And I'm typically not glancing that direction, so it's not easy for me to miss. Okay. So his stream's not going to show us much. He'll be able to see it in real time with his eyes, and he'll chime in and let me know if he's got something. But it's getting farther and farther away from him, so I doubt he's going to be able to see much at this point. Okay. Let me see this other storm back here to the southwest has done anything. No. Okay, so still this is the only storm of concern. Alright, so if you guys downwind, Roth, you're going to get some hail out of this. Sulphur, you get some hail out of it, and some wind. Mill Creek, you're being the direct path of what's left of the tornado area. Turner Falls posted they were told to shelter in bathhouses or evacuate. Okay, I just saw that one. Power out in Dotery. Okay, well that's where the circulation was over Dotery. And it'll be difficult to see anything at dark. Storm track on this one is just due east. It has actually shifted to the southeast a bit, just a little bit, and that usually happens when there is a tornado. So that's been a slight change here over the last few minutes. So it's a good indicator that actually might have been one, or at least for a few minutes, or still may be, that kind of deal. even though that the velocity data on the radar is so garbled, it's difficult to tell you exactly where. That's why you need those storm spotters in the field sometimes. But in dark, that just makes it even more complicated. So if you're in other parts of the state, you can see there's a few storms up in northeast Oklahoma, one way down here southeast, east of Atoka. But the only storm of any interest for us tonight is this one here. That has a potential tornado with it. Let me turn this off for a second. So the lake is just to the north. Alright, so the circulation center, man, like I said, it's going to be difficult. The old one is going over on the south end of the lake. It doesn't look all that strong anymore. So let's go over the south end of the lake right now. So basically in this area here, that's the old circulations. That's the tail end of the lake. But the new circulation, should one develop, should be just south of there. Okay. Down closer to this area here. So that would be where the other area we'd be watching for. And right now it's RFD, rear flank downdraft. In other words, all the air is coming out in one direction. So for me on radar, I don't see much of interest anymore for good strong tornadic circulation. I mean, it's kind of gone. So the question is, does it regenerate? Do we get another one? It's going to take a few minutes to find that out. Yep. But otherwise, I think the whatever tornado that would have been or could have been or was is gone. That's good news. So, whatever tornado one of the TV guys had there over at Dotery about 5 minutes ago, that has since moved off to the east and is dissipated according to the radar view on the velocity data. But it's been so garbled, it's been hard to discern while it was in this region. And also we're tracking it at 5,000 feet, so you're never going to be able to track the actual location of the tornado, only the mesocyclone. So with that report coming in late for Dotery, the Weather Service is going to continue the tornado warning and mention the confirmed tornado that was located near that town, and having it moving east at 30. So they keep picking up the speed faster and faster. So it takes a few minutes for all that information to get relayed, and so that kind of got related to the warning 5 minutes after the fact, where radar at that point in time looked pretty good to confirm it, but right now does not. That could change though, just right now, right this second. Let's see. Let me take a look at northwest Oklahoma real quick. Remember Shattuck? We told you guys that storm coming in pretty close to you. Looks like it's going to pass just to your north, but it's going to slam Fargo and Gage and probably just clip Woodward. That'd be south of Fort Supply. This storm means business, so it's large hail and damaging winds. And that'll be swinging on through here pretty soon. So you guys be aware, it's not a tornado maker, but it does have some straight line winds with it, and it's going to have some hail with it. Winds could be up to around 70. Let's see, because there's a few more reports that came in. Trees and power lines down in Elmwood, and then of course west of Elmwood earlier we reported that. Beaver had a 61, and who's this? Slap Out Slap Out had a 68 mile per hour wind gust on the Mesonet. So winds up to 70 basically. So we're getting multiple reports now, all delayed, around the Dodri area of a tornado touchdown in the town. And that power is out as a result. Let me see what the velocity looks like. No, still nothing. I think it's still trying to recycle, do something different. So it should not be tornadic at this very moment. But it's coming up on Highway 177. So it's crossing over that intersection here pretty soon. Somebody asked about Mill Creek. Good grief, are you just now getting to the party? Yeah, Mill Creek. That's been in the path now for a long time. So you're going to have to be in your shelters here eventually. It's going to take a little bit longer to get there though. Probably another, I don't know, 20 minutes. That's plenty of time to round the troops. So, now it may not even be tornadic at that point. We'll see. But that's the next town in line. Now it's going to be passing probably just a hair south of Mill Creek. So it may end up being like a couple miles south of town here on 7 for the actual tornado part of it. But you'll still get the storm part of it regardless. So you'll probably get some hail that'll come out of it. Now remember, I only cover tornadoes, so if I'm not looking at any other part of the state, wherever you live, it means there's no tornadoes there. So I'm not concerned about it. Will you get some hail and some wind in some of these? Sure. Most of it, though, has been on the lighter side lately. 60 mile per hour winds or less, hail size golf balls or less. Nothing, crazy. Exception to that is up in northwest Oklahoma with that one storm. Let's see, even these up here in Tulsa area still aren't much to write home about. So, okay. So again, all of our focus is on the potential tornado causing storm here north of Gene Autry. So that's what we're focused on. The storms in northwest Oklahoma are going to continue to weaken as they get closer to the Oklahoma City metro. So there may not be much to them by the time they get here. It'd still be another couple hours. And they should weaken. They should keep weakening. All right. Okay. So the new mesocyclone, if you will, the new circulation center, is trying to form on the leading edge. So it's trying to form in this area, right along 177. And that intersects Big Canyon Road. What else we got down here? 3390, McGibbony Road. So just north of this Tri-County line. So that's kind of where that new circulation center is trying to get going. So that should pass, if that's the case, it again should pass well south of Mill Creek. If it goes due east, we're looking at 1, 2, 3 miles south of Mill Creek. We're along the 7 and 1 split, Highway 7 and 1. That's where that would be. Okay, now the other issue, let me take a look at this. So we've had these storms kind of going over the same area, and that's called training. And when you get those in these types of storms, you can get some flash flooding. So flash flooding may end up being a problem down here for the Turner Falls region. So keep that in mind. Campsites won't be ideal, obviously, in that situation. Anything low ground won't be ideal. So I think a lot of people have probably hightailed it out of there, went to Ardmore or something, just to get out of that mess. The rest of them may still be in shelters, but just for the heavy rain that's coming in and some of the hail. The tornado threat's long gone for that particular region along I-35. It's now coming in toward the just east of 177, heading toward Mill Creek. Alright, let's see here. Let me see. This will be just a rain estimate that I pull up, and we'll see how accurate it is, or just what kind of guess it's going to give us down here. Rainfall 3 hours. Let's see if this shows up. The Weather Service will keep the tornado warning going for Johnson County, so that'll be coming out here in a minute. Let's see. 3 hour wasn't working, so this is the 1 hour storm total. White is 2.5 to 3 inches of rain. But that's north of Hennepin to Elmore City. Some of that's hail contamination. Let me go storm total, see if that's going to work for us. So down here in the Turner Falls area, on the split of 35, where the tornado crossed paths, assuming that was actually on the ground at that time, rainfall amounts here between 2 to 2.5 inches. So still, that's quite a bit of rain in just a couple of hours. And there's still more rain coming in from the west. So that's why I was saying flash flooding might be an issue here for a little bit until these storms pass through. Okay, Mill Creek, back to you. Circulation center has increased here a little bit on the northern fringe, right in this area, which is where we'd expect to see it. Let's see. Algorithms are starting to get excited in that region, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so the new tornado warning coming out for Johnson County will include Tishomingo, which it's because one of the radar built-in algorithm trackers actually has a line that goes like this. In other words, it thinks it's going to move more southeast. So the warning that comes out will include Tishomingo as a precautionary measure, even though the storm right now has been moving due east. Oh, my stream just died. Let's see. Is my stream dead? No, it still says it's up. No, it's gone. Okay, so this stream ended on Facebook, which means I have to start another one. I just ran out of time. I'm not sure which. So if you're watching me on YouTube or through my weather app, through my website, I'm going to have to end this and then start it back up to see what's going on.